All right, here we go. Profit picks at 6, back again for a second season. And let's just bring up the star of the show, the spreadsheet, and get it going. Let's recap a little bit, pull down this call-in line, we'll pull that up in a little bit. And let's check out how we did last season. 2021, all games results, 272 picks. Went 150, 119, and 3. Obviously can't avoid that 3. Just wind up as a push, but it's not a win, so it doesn't get counted as a win. But still 55%. I think that's godlike. 47% on the locks, 8 and 10. Sounds crummy, but I think that's pretty strong. And with that, let's get right to it. 2022, fresh slate. And week 1, we're not going to do a lot of talking. These end up being about 20 minutes to a half hour. So just want to go over some thoughts. And I got the Riders tab down here. If you want to follow along with any picks that I have locked in, we can track how well I actually do on those for the season. So I always start with the Patriots. Let's start with tomorrow because I'm amped up for week 1. And we got the Bills heading to LA. Super Bowl champs. People talk about a Super Bowl hangover. Are we going to see that? I don't think so. As you can see, I picked the Rams at home. Home dogs. I didn't have a lot of favorites this week that I was picking. And later in the afternoon, I was actually looking at the sheet. And that's what's handy about this is it tracks all this stuff for me. I can kind of make adjustments as I see fit to, you're picking too many dogs, 63% dogs. And, who can we flip to try to balance this out? Because you don't expect like an 80-20 split every week. So going with the Rams here, and here's just a couple notes that I had on the game is Josh Allen and Matt Stafford, excuse me. Both around -165 for over 1.5 touchdowns. So kind of implies that they're both going to at least pass for 2. I like Josh Allen to score. I think he's going to get a passing touchdown in there. I wouldn't be surprised if he runs one in. Total as of last night, I don't have updated totals. I have these as of last night. The lines on here are all current, and that's what really matters. We're picking against the spread. The total 52.5 as of last night on FanDuel, using FanDuel lines this year. Switched from Caesars about 2 weeks ago. I'm very happy. Neither book is a sponsor, but if we're looking at Allen and Stafford to both pass for over 1.5 touchdowns with the implied probability, I'm liking the over. I use some of FanDuel's, you can use like kind of sliders, or you can kind of use alt spreads. So I like bringing the total down. We can check the Riders tab here. I brought the total down to 46.5, and you can still get pretty decent odds on that if you parlay it in with some other stuff. 52.5 might be too much for me to touch, especially if, I expect Josh Allen to go for 2 touchdowns, at least pass for 1. He'll probably rush for 1. And I think the Rams are going to win. So are we looking at like a 28-24 game? Maybe. But I think Sean McVay, with time to prep, I think he's ready for Buffalo. Everyone on NFL Game Day picked Buffalo to win the Super Bowl, so I think that's the kiss of death. Liking riding with the Bills here. This was originally a Bills -2.5 pick for me. I think people are a little too high, as usual, on Buffalo, and we're going to go with the Rams. Something else to note, Tre'Davious White out for the Bills. So they got a 6th-round rookie covering corner, and he's going to have to cover either Cooper Cup or Allen Robinson. 1 second. Just having a party right outside the door. So they got a 6th-round rookie playing corner for this game against Cooper Cup, and then Allen Robinson. I liked him last year, couldn't get it done, but he's still catching everything his way. I think if he's the number 2 guy, I wouldn't be surprised if he catches one. I do have a touchdown prop for a different game we'll touch on a bit later. But I do like a Dawson Knox touchdown in this game. And we'll go over the Riders picks in full at the end. So let's get right to the Patriots heading down to Miami. Traditionally have not performed on the road against the Dolphins. Taking Dolphins again. Didn't even have to think about this one. -3.5. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua. I have Tua as my quarterback in the Terpene Premier League. Hoping he pans out. I'm liking Mac Jones. Just got named a captain, I believe, today. But they just don't perform. Even the best Patriots teams go down to Miami and just don't perform. Like, we can look at 2021 here really quick. Week 18, I mean, Miami was my lock at +7, and they smashed them. So, I mean, 6 the other way. So, I'm liking Miami laying the 3.5. I think they win by more than a field goal. Not much else to say there. We got the Saints heading to hot Atlanta, laying 5.5. This is one that I switched this afternoon. I think a lot of people are high on fresh Atlanta team. I've never been a huge fan, and the Saints, I mean, I got to be honest, I pick all these games, but I don't truly have the best read. I try to talk through my reasoning with these and do my best to give good analysis. Not a great read, but I do think people are a little too high on the Falcons, so I'm going to go with the Saints laying 5.5. Got to win by 6. Steelers heading to Cincinnati, the nasty natty. Bengals coming off a Super Bowl appearance. Almost got it done. If you watch Profit Picks at 6 last year, we were on the right side of that one. You got to get your picks in early. That's why I put these in. I put these all out on Wednesday. Lines are all current. You can get these lines right now on FanDuel if you have it. So these lines are somewhere. So I expect to see some movement by Sunday, some of these Sunday games, the Monday games. If you get them in early, we can get this 6.5, I think, before it crosses 7. Hopefully it doesn't. But winning by 7, I like Joe Burrow. One of the most exciting college careers I've ever seen, or seasons rather, that I've ever seen. His senior year at LSU, that is. So I like him, and I'm kind of down on the Steelers a little bit. I could see with this one, I could see a Jersey Jerry celebration where, they magically cover, they get the money line win. But I'm going to go with the home favorite here, Bengals laying 6.5. This one's San Francisco heading to Chicago. This is another one. I think people are high on the Niners, and I'm not. I don't really know what the deal is with Jimmy G just outright losing a starting job, but they want to keep him around for like insurance. I read an article today. So I don't know what the deal is with that. The Bears are tough. They're going to probably be one of the worst teams in the league this season, I would anticipate. And I think other people believe that too. So they're 6.5 is not too much for the Niners to win by a touchdown. And so we're going to go against that and take the Bears with the points. Home dog. This one, I have not changed my opinion on. Browns heading to Carolina. Little revenge game for Baker Mayfield on this one against his old team. I mean, they kind of just like spit him out, right? And I don't know what the deal is with the Browns and their quarterback situation over what, like the last decade. They've had incredible talent and just haven't found, like, I thought he was the guy. He was going to be your franchise QB for the next 5-7 years. And I mean, he's got a shoulder thing. I saw a Nick Chubb quote today. Let me actually get you that quote verbatim. One second. Here's another. This is not a free ad, not a paid ad either. I use the Sleeper app in one of my fantasy leagues. I'm a big fan of the Sleeper app. It's really, really slick. What did Nick Chubb on what he expects from Baker Mayfield? We all know Baker, so I don't know what to expect. Great quote like that. He's my RB1 in that league. He's been my guy. Nick Chubb coming through for me in fantasy the last 3 seasons. Got a little bit banged up last season, and he's got to kind of fight for the ball a little bit, but he's going to get his 19 touches. I like Nick Chubb. I would put in. Let's see if we can get a Nick Chubb anytime touchdown scorer if that's out already. We'll put it in live and add to the Riders tab. While that's loading, let's just keep going. Browns. It's got to be the Browns. I think they're a good team if they can get what do they got? Jacoby Brissett at quarterback. If they can get a decent game out of him, I think they got a good cast of characters there in Cleveland. And looking at my notes, I see the line has crossed 0, so that means the Browns were originally favored. Now they're 1.5 point underdogs. Definitely something with that 1.5, something to look at with our teaser of the week. But I do like the Browns and even outright. I mean, the 1.5 is a nice little cushion, but even money line would be good. Just signing into FanDuel here. And moving right along, another game that I flip-flopped on is the Eagles heading to Detroit. I think a lot of people are going to be betting on the Lions, the home dog, just coming off Hard Knocks. I do not like Hard Knocks teams. I don't think they perform well. Later in last season, the Lions did perform. And if we check out, they had a tight line, 2.5 with Green Bay. And that even, I've looked back at that episode of Profit Picks at 6, that week 18 coverage and week 17 wrap up I did. The line actually touched a half that low because I believe Aaron Rodgers was not playing and people were still down on Detroit. They won outright 30-37. So Dan Campbell's definitely got them in fighting shape. Couple players I like, Swift and Amon-Ra Saint, whatever his name is. It's escaping me at the moment, but I like him too. Let me see if I can find that Nick Chubb anytime touchdown scorer. If you see ATS on any bet slips or recommendations, it's anytime touchdown scorer. Give you a little gambling knowledge. Let's just keep going while I try to do 2 things at once here. I don't think I flipped on this one. I think I held strong because this matchup with the Ravens heading to the Jets does worry me. And here we go. I got first anytime touchdown scorer. Nick Chubb, plus 110. Not a lot of value there. Anytime touchdown scorer, but I mean, I'll bet it just because I gave it out on here. I'll bet it. And we'll add it to the Riders tab. Bet it for a unit. So let's leave at car. There we go. We'll do a full rundown of that at the end. So what scares me about this one is the line's been creeping up in this Ravens Jets game. Currently 7.5, but this was down. Opened at 4.5. I did see it at 6.5 yesterday, and because I want to keep these lines current or as current as I can, there's got to be some kind of cutoff. I want to keep them as current as I can. 7.5. What really scares me about this one is this is going to be a super popular teaser spot for the Ravens, and it wouldn't shock me if the Jets just win this game. So what you're looking at with 6.5, bring the Ravens down to favor by a half. They just got to win the game. They got to win by 1. Now you bring it down to 1.5. I could see a 2-point game, a 3-point game, something like that. I think the Jets get the cover here. It's not a popular pick this week. The Ravens are definitely a popular pick, especially on the teaser side. I like the Jets. Jacksonville heading to not the football team anymore. They're the Commanders. Shout out to our friend Dr. Sober. Commanders fan. They're favored by 2.5. This is a tough one that I've been going back and forth, trying to figure out how many favorites, how many dogs are we going to take, how many road teams, how many home teams are we going to take. This is one where a couple of years ago, people are saying, oh, they're just the football team. They don't have anybody. They're not going to be. And then they won week 1. They were down. I was chirping my buddy about this 2 years ago. He's like, you really picked Washington? And they were down like 28 at the half, and they ended up having 4 straight scores and won the game outright. Won and covered. So Washington, not a super popular pick. I don't know if the Jags are either, but I was just at a Labor Day weekend party with some of my friends, and one of them's a Jags fan, so maybe that's a little bit of bias rubbing off. We're going to stick with the Jags, taking the points on the road, plus 2.5. Indy heading to Houston. Another one I don't have a super good read on. I just haven't been really high on the Texans. And I think the Colts, with this revamped offense, they got Matt Ryan in there now. I've never been a believer in him, but maybe with Arthur Blank out of the picture, maybe things are a little bit different. Not much to say on this one. I'll go with the Colts laying 7.5 on the road. Might be a tough one. Then we got Vegas heading to the Chargers. This is another one. Everybody's loving Justin Herbert, and I just don't. I know he's supposed to be really good in fantasy. I don't like the way he looks. I mean, he looks like a douchebag. Let's just call it what it is. I don't like him. I don't like the Chargers. They're supposed to have a high-powered offense. Whatever. Some stuff about John Gruden coming out. He shouldn't be allowed back. I think the Chargers are just a really public play here at 3.5, and I'm going to go the other way with the road dog and the Raiders. Another one. This is going to be a popular teaser spot, maybe for Green Bay. I would not recommend that, and we'll get to why when I explain my teaser pick of the week. I'm just going to do all my lock dog and tease on the fly. Green Bay only laying 1.5. Number one, I'm not an Aaron Rodgers believer. He's not welcome on my fantasy team. He's a drug addict, ayahuasca abuser. I hate his tattoo. He's dating a witch. I can just go down the list. I don't like this guy. Minnesota at home. I'm a Mike Zimmer guy, the OG Chaw Dog. 1.5 seems pretty low. I hate to call stuff fishy. I can't remember if that was VD or who that was that said this. I hate when handicappers say the line smells fishy, but I mean, this 1.5, I might look to tease them up. It could be a waste of a teaser on that one, Minnesota. But I'm going to fade that Green Bay and take the Vikings at home. Giants heading to Tennessee. This is another one. I think everybody's really high on Derrick Henry. I'm not. He's a good player, don't get me wrong, but I just don't. Saquon's back. I think he's. Hey, how are you, Pat? I think that the Derrick Henry, I think that's all being blown out of proportion. And I'll happily take 5.5 with the Giants on the road. Kansas City heading to Arizona. If you followed Profit Picks at 6 last year, Arizona got it done for us like 7 out of 8 weeks they covered. I had Kyler on my fantasy team at the time. You know, you see all those memes on Twitter and stuff with Kyler and he's like shrunk down and they leave the ball the same size. Like, that's funny and everything, but he's actually a good player. This line has moved even today, which is, you know, credit to me for getting you guys updated lines. If anybody's even watching this, we got 3. I think that's equal to probably the first 4 weeks of last season. But this opened at 3, up to 5.5 now. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Chiefs. Mahomes kind of undervalued. He certainly was in the fantasy draft that I just did on Monday. So I try to do a little bit of fantasy talk here, but not too much. Mostly specialize in picking against the spread if that can be a specialty. But I like taking points. They're at home. Maybe they lose by 6. I don't know. But the Cardinals were so good to us last year with cover after cover after cover. Let's take them again. Plus 5.5 home opener. This one also moved today. Was at 1.5, jumped up to 2.5. I think a lot of people are going to be on the Bucks as well. Tom Brady, some home life issues. Chris Godwin, seeing mixed reports, like he did a full practice. His knee cast or whatever just got taken off the other day. You know, but was that a full practice? Was it just a walkthrough? Do we really know? I don't think he's playing. Dak Prescott's not a bad quarterback. I think the Cowboys can get it done here with the cover, catching 2.5 at home. And just one thing I wanted to note for the season. Look at Julio Jones, and Stephen Che put this out. So I'm piggybacking on that. Look at Julio Jones before the season starts. Get it in if you can. Over 550.5 receiving yards. He's got incentives in his contract at like 600, 700, 800, 900. If he catches 1,000 yards, he's going to make an extra $1 million in his contract in incentives. So maybe he's not always the best at getting in the end zone, but he'll catch balls for you. So look at that Julio Jones prop if you are inclined. And then so that's a Sunday night game, and let's wrap it up here. Denver heading to Seattle Monday night. And I mean, this is just years and years. I just can't trust the Seahawks. You know, but this and this. It's Pete Carroll at home with time to prep. Like, you can say that about any game. I mean, I guess I said it about another one. The Rams and Bills, but I think Denver's going to be a changed team with a new QB. I think Seattle's the popular pick here, and I just want to go against it. Denver laying 6.5. We'll take that. Let's pick out a lock, dog, and teaser. Lock and dog are pretty easy for me, so we're going to lock the Dolphins. Same as week 18 last year, excuse me. Autocomplete there. So we're going to lock the Dolphins. I hate picking against the Patriots, but it's just a trend that I can't go against here. My favorite dog of the week is going to be the Browns. Catching 1.5. Oh. And then that Jets 7.5 jumps out to me. Let's leave the Browns. Let's leave the Browns as our dog. And our 6-point teaser of the week, the Jets are going to be in it. So we're taking them up from 7.5 to 13.5. And the other half of this teaser, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight to what I look for in a teaser. It's been profitable. It's a system. It's been profitable over at least the last 4 or 5 years. It's a concept called a Wong teaser. So you want to tease games that are inside 3.5, tease them up, or tease games that are outside 3.5, tease them down to get within that threshold. So I didn't do that with that Jets pick, but I think getting it up to 13.5, I don't think they're going to lose by 2 touchdowns just because I think something weird's going to happen with that game where Baltimore is not going to win by 1 to cover a lot of those teasers that are already in. So I would feel a lot safer at 13.5. And then, Minnesota up to 7.5. And so that gets us through the key numbers of 2.5, 3, 3.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 6.5. We're past 7, and now we're at 7.5 for the Vikings. They can lose by a full touchdown and extra point, and we're still good. And I see Hurricane Dave in the comment. Yerp. So let's look at the riders' picks for the week. These are all locked in on FanDuel. I'll show you a bet slip if you want. I'm not going to show you how much my unit size is, and I don't have that killer drop in here. I will add some drops for next time. Just wanted to get to the meat and potatoes. The spreadsheet's the star, not me. Hurricane Dave, I know as a Chiefs fan, I like Sammy Watkins anytime touchdown on Sunday, plus 210 for a half unit. I think he's definitely getting in. And again, a little bias being around some of my friends over the weekend, but I got that tip and I said I would bet it once it was out. Sammy Watkins is only 29. I didn't know that. So younger than myself, but plus 210, we lock that in. And then I got a parlay for tomorrow night. Dawson Knox, the tight end for the Bills, anytime touchdown. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. Over 46.5. Josh Allen to rush for 25 yards. It's 25 plus, so we get that over 24.5. Stephon Diggs, over 39.5 receiving yards. And then Dawson Knox, if he's going to get a touchdown, I think he's going to have over 24.5 receiving yards. Little lotto ticket parlay, plus 1840. And I'm not one of those guys that, puts $100 on a plus 1,800. Like, yeah, it'd be awesome to win that much, but, only need to throw a couple bucks on this. for me to be happy. It's plus 1800. It's really not that likely, but I think we moved some stuff around, that over 46.5 down from 52.5. I think there's some value there in case something goes wrong and we're in danger. And then another parlay I put together this afternoon was Josh Allen over 24.5 rush yards. I'm confident in that. That's like 2 plays for him. That's like 5 strides for him. Allen Robinson over 39.5 receiving yards. I talked about Tre'Davious White being out, so I think he gets his catches. Cam Akers over 24.5 rush yards, so that's also taken down. And just for comparison, that Josh Allen, the regular rush prop was 37.5, so I don't think 25 is a huge ask. And then Dawson Knox, again, over 24.5 receiving yards. I think he gets a couple grabs in there. I mean, that's 2 catches, right? So that one plus 242, I did put a full unit on that one. And we put it in live. Nick Chubb, anytime touchdown, plus 110, I think for sure. My guy gets in there. He's been good to us the last 3 years. Forgot to put up the call-in line again. I'll give it to you for next week. If you want to leave me a voicemail, that's 315-925-5973. That's 315-925-KYPD. Shout out to the Kentucky State Police. I think that's going to do it. Went over a half hour. I think next week will be quicker. We'll do a quick recap and then pick the games. Hopefully I have a drop or two for a lock and a dog and maybe something for a teaser. I don't know. We'll try to work something out. I don't know if I want to get a logo for the top right. Not the most creative guy in that sense. But I do have the background. And just for anybody curious, that was also the picture on the YouTube preview. That is the Yellow Brick Road Sportsbook in Chittenango, New York, New York's largest sportsbook, and my favorite. Very, very nice. Show it to you one more time. Very cool. A lot of leather, a lot of brick. It's cool. That's it. Profit picks at 6, week 1 in the books. Best of luck to everybody. We got Hit the Rice Bucket tomorrow, 7 o'clock, and Stock Talk Live is going to be on at 8. Lot to talk about with both shows. We got Dr. Sober coming back to the Rice Bucket. Boys are all back. The Doc will be in. And Stock Talk Live, we got a lot. We got CFOs jumping off of buildings. We got partnerships with FTX. We got a lot going on. Housing, all sorts of stuff going on with Stock Talk Live. Personally, I'll see you hopefully for Hit the Rice Bucket. If I don't see you there, Stock Talk Live is right after. And if I don't see you there, you better be at Hit the Post Friday, 8 o'clock. Over on Mixcloud, mixcloud.com/hitthepost, hitthepost.live. We'll take you to the same place. As always, please gamble responsibly.